Once upon a time, Venezuela was one of the wealthiest and most prosperous countries in Latin America. People walked the streets shopping without worrying about the future. Their money had real value, and salaries were good, so people could easily cover their basic needs. They lived without thinking about tomorrow. Today, it's very different. People wake up wondering if their money will even buy anything. Their cash might as well be paper. So, what happened to bring a country to this point? It didn't happen overnight. This wasn't a sudden collapse or a quick disaster. To understand Venezuela's decline, we need to ask, how does a country go from being rich to this poor? The answer is unsettling. And this story isn't only about Venezuela, it's a scenario that many countries could face in today's world. The first major factor in Venezuela's fate was oil. The country sits on some of the world's largest oil reserves, 17% of the world's total. For years, this wealth seemed like a huge advantage. The government's treasury overflowed, social programs expanded, and salaries were high. People enjoyed short-term prosperity. But here's where the biggest mistake happened. The economy became dependent on a single source instead of building production. Farming wasn't developed enough. Industry didn't grow. Jobs weren't created. Imported goods were cheap because oil was always there, or so they thought. The economy grew with oil revenues, but actual production didn't. The government believed it could solve every problem by handing out money. Salaries went up, social aid increased, free services spread. At first, people were happy, but underneath this comfort was a ticking time bomb. This system could not last forever. Everything depended on oil prices. When oil was expensive, there was no problem. But when prices fell, everything started to crumble. The government's income dropped, but spending didn't, because people had grown used to the lifestyle. Instead of scaling back, the government chose another path, printing more money. But here's the problem. A country cannot become rich by printing money. It only reduces the value of money. And that's exactly what happened in Venezuela. More money was printed to cover deficits. Money flooded the streets, but goods didn't increase. Inflation rose, and not normal inflation. Hyperinflation spiraled out of control. People couldn't buy the same thing with the same cash by evening. Panic set in. Salaries lost their value. Savings disappeared. The middle class vanished because they rely on trust in money. When that trust is gone, society unravels. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. The government tried to control prices, saying, this product can't be sold for more than this. On paper, it made sense. But in reality, shelves went empty because producers couldn't afford to make goods. Then, restrictions on foreign currency came. Those who could access it survived, while those who couldn't were left behind. People started asking, is it worth staying here? That question triggered mass migration. Millions left. Not just unskilled workers, but doctors, engineers, teachers, people who kept the country running. Their departure caused new problems. Health and education systems weakened, and security worsened. Economic crises don't just hurt money, they break society. Living in Venezuela isn't just about money, it's also psychologically hard. People lost hope for the future. They can't plan because no one knows what tomorrow will bring. And for a country, that's the worst situation. We must be clear. Venezuela's problem isn't just bad management, it's a chain of systemic mistakes. A single resource economy, uncontrolled money printing, neglected production, and wrong solutions during crises. Together, these led to disaster. Today, getting paid doesn't bring happiness. People spend their money immediately because holding on to it means losing value. No one wants to save. Everyone tries to buy what they can. This only worsens the crisis. The hardest part? Once trust is gone, it's almost impossible to restore. No trust in money, government, or the system. Economy simply cannot function without trust. Venezuela shows us this clearly. A country doesn't become unlivable because of salaries, but because people lose faith in stability and the future. This story isn't unique to Venezuela. Other countries could make the same mistakes at different speeds. Venezuela is just a big example. Personal stories matter more than numbers. The departure of skilled people, brain drain, takes away not just talent, but hope. Hyperinflation in daily life is hard to explain. People stop looking at price tags. Salaries come in suitcases of cash, yet it may not buy a single meal. Time itself feels different. Everyone thinks, buy now, spend now. And this only fuels the crisis further. The government even removed zeros from the currency, printed new bills, but it didn't fix the problem. It's not the shape of the money. It's the loss of trust. Eventually, people turned to dollars. Those earning foreign currency grew stronger. Those who couldn't stayed poor and left behind. Society fragmented. When the official rules and street reality don't match, order collapses. That happened in Venezuela. Crime rose. People didn't feel safe. Because living isn't just breathing, it's being secure and able to meet basic needs. Here's an important lesson: the resource curse. If natural wealth isn't managed properly, it brings disaster instead of prosperity. Easy money prevents hard work. Production is forgotten. When crisis comes, nothing is left. Venezuela's story is the collapse of a system standing on a single leg. Recovery is theoretically possible, but practically very hard. It requires trust, production, time, and skilled people. Right now, Venezuela lacks all of these. The lesson is clear. Countries don't collapse overnight. But when mistakes accumulate, collapse becomes inevitable. Economy isn't just numbers. It's how people hold on to life. When it fails, people can't survive. They become living ghosts. Looking at this, you can't help but wonder, what if one day we face the same situation?